Welcome back to Just Carve Rob. And what are we carving today? Well, we're not carving really anything. We're just going to go over some basic cuts with the knives. Some basic knife cuts. See if it will help you guys out. Okay. So we'll be using the OCC 1 3/8 and the Flex Cut 1 3/8. Both detail knives. We also have, that's all we're going to use. Well, yeah, we might use this Just Carve Rob upswept knife. But let's get it started here. Okay, so we'll start off with the basic knife cut that I use a lot. And it is the push cut. You put the knife in your dominant hand. You use your other hand to hold your workpiece and your thumb. Your thumb is your motor. So you just put your thumb on the back of your knife, either on the handle or on the blade, whatever you're most comfortable doing. Make sure your other fingers are out of the path of the knife. And you just pivot it on your thumb. And that gives you all kinds of control over your knife. Because you're just, basically you could carve that holding this in 3 fingers. And pivot, 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 pivot. You're using your thumb to push the blade. Okay, so that's a basic cut there. And then you have a paring cut. There again, keep your thumb out of the way of the knife. You should be wearing your glove, or at least the thumb protector. You take like a leather glove and cut the thumb out, and you put it over your thumb. The glove thumb over your thumb. And that gives you just a basic paring cut. Use that a lot too. Okay. Then you got your stop cut, where you'll take your knife blade, put it into your piece of wood, trace your pattern or whatever you're doing, like that. And then you'll come back. I'm using the push cut again. You see that? Boop. Pop that chip right out of there. Poof, just like that. Right? So that's your basic stop cut. You'll use that cut wherever you want to dead end your line. Your stop cut. You're just going to go in and do that. And then you can come back in with your knife blade. And I guess this we'd be calling this a modified paring cut. Like that. Okay. Then we have the chip cut. Most important cut you'll ever learn right there, that chip cut. Come in two different ways, and then come back in and pop that chip out. Like that. Any place you want to add depth, you just use that chip cut. And then pop it out, just like that. Right? And you can see what that did for this. It started rounding the edges over. And we're just using that push cut with your thumb. Using both thumbs in conjunction there. This one keeps the knife from going that way. And this one actually drives the blade for you. So you just think of your thumb as your little motor. It's going to drive the blade. Just like that. Okay. Then we've got a V cut, which you would angle your blade about 45 degrees, push it in, and pull it straight, and then come over on the other side about 45 degrees, push it in, and there's your V cup. Just like that. And that'll give you a V shape in your wood. You got this push cut. This is more of a sliding V cut. And this is a push cut. So you can see that V we took out of that piece of wood there. This is always good for when you're starting to work your way in on stuff. You can do that. Come back this way, come back that way, and there's your V cut. So we've gone over the stop cut, which is right here. And then you can come in and remove that piece of that little sliver of wood. Like that. Stop cut, reinforce that stop line here. Like that. And same thing, come back in and remove that wood out of there. Chip cut, come into that corner. Come into that corner, and then come back and pop that chip of wood out of there. Like that. Pretty easy, huh? Push cut. Using your thumb to drive your blade. Basically, you're using your thumb as a pivot. Remember, keep your fingers out of the way. Wear your carving glove. This is basically just the piece of wood I use for checking the sharpness of my knives. Okay, if your knife is good and sharp, it'll almost leave a polished surface. If you see any white lines or this is kind of dull looking, your knife is dull. Or you got a little chip out of your blade. Paring cut. And those are the basic cuts that you use to carve with. The scoop cut, very important. It's where you take your blade and you turn it in the wood, like that. If you're making a nose, the scoop cuts don't work that good on the thick part of the blade because they want to chatter. So the scoop cut works really good with the upper part of your knife blade. So we just scoop that out of there. Like that. And you can almost start seeing the nose coming out of that piece of wood right there. See that? Almost looks like a nose, right? Then we take our V cut, come under where we want our nose. We'll push in, cut up. We'll push in, cut up. You can see that nose, right? You can see it starting to come out. And those are the basic cuts I use for carving with a knife. The scoop cut works really good here. See how we're rolling the nose right there? And then we could use our push cut or V cut to start putting the eye ridge in where your eyebrows will sit. Huh. Yep. Like I said, we really aren't carving anything, just going through some basic maneuvers for your knife blade. Stop cut. Go around like that. And then you can come back and clean that wood out of there. And now you just added the wing of the nose in. That's simple. Paring cut. Just like that. And then you can just scoop that out right there. Like that. And within a few short steps, you've almost got a nose cut in there. Then if you come right alongside the nose and go ahead and make your chip cut. Come over here and make another chip cut. Pop that chip out of there. Like that. Look at that. Between those two chip cuts, you've almost made a whole eye. Stop cut. And come back. Clean that stop cut out. Come up here. Stop cut. Clean that stop cut out. Then you can come back and start rounding all this over. Use that rolling cut. I'd say you're well on the way of having a nose. Kind of wonky looking nose and eye, but we weren't here for the to show how to carve them. We're just here to practice our cuts a little bit. So you take that, bring that knife blade in, and then roll it right around the corner like that. And then you can do the same thing on this side. Put your knife blade in, roll it around the corner. And you can get those chips out of there. And you can see we're making the bridge of that nose deeper right there. Like that. Same thing here. Roll that knife around. And then we can come back up in here with a push cut and clean that up. We have to come in and reinforce our stop cut there. Like that. here. See, we got that eyeball poking out of there. Now, this is all wonky and out of proportion, I know. Now, if we want to make that eyeball bigger, all we got to do is put the knife on the same plane as the roundness of the eyeball. Push up in there a little bit and walk it right around. And then we can come back and make that, pick up on that stop cut. And you can see we just made the eyeball bigger. You can do the same thing with the bottom. Angle it the same degree about as your eye. And push in a little bit. And then just follow the contour of the eye around. And then you can just come in and take away that piece of wood. See how I'm using my thumb as a lever? And see how I got all my fingers out of the way, just in case this, whoop, too many cups of coffee, a little shaky. Or it's my neck injury acting up on me. That happens quite a bit. I start losing control of my hands. Okay. Just round that in. I know this is a terrible, terrible eye. But like I said, we weren't planning on carving ice. Carving anything, really. Okay. And then we can put an upper eyelid in. Just drag that blade right across that big ball. And push that wood up under that eyelid. Like that. There's so many different ways to do eyes. I don't like pushing deep into when I'm putting my eyelid in, because this wood could chip out on you. And often it has chipped out on me. So I just take a light cut for my eyelid and then just push the wood or the eyeball up under there. And then you can just bring your knife back across again, light touch, if you want to make that deeper. Like that. All right. And then the bottom eyelid, you can do the same way. If you want to give them a squinty eye, come up higher. And roll that bottom eyelid. Trying to get it to go up underneath the upper eyelid. And then same thing. You're going to work that eyelid down on an angle, or the eyeball down on an angle into the eyelid. Like that. Okay. And then round the top part. Keep your eyeball round both ways, this way and this way. And I slide my knife. I'm not pushing straight down. I'm sliding that knife blade to actually cut the wood. Because you got your push cut and then you got a slide cut. And when you're in tight areas like this, with fragile wood, like the eye, you want to slide that blade. If you can. Because all it takes is a little too much pressure and you can chop that eyelid right off from there. I don't even know why I'm playing with this. Guess it's just for practice sake, right? See, that would have been a bad move. You're better off using your thumb to guide your blade. And then slide that blade to cut that wood. If it don't come out, just go right back through there and run your blade through there again. Like I'm the last guy that should be teaching anybody how to do an eyeball. But this isn't about the actual carving of the eye. This is about the movements of the knife, right? See how terrible that eye is? And I just cut it off right there. Boop, see? It's not hard to do that. You gotta be real gentle when you're doing eyeballs with a knife. But now we can just come down here. And we'll put a stop line in. And then come in underneath of it. Take that piece of wood out. And there you go. Just got to carve it in deeper. And then we'll roll that like that. And then we can come back and do the same thing. Nice and easy. Bring that around. Pop that chip out of there. And we have recovered our eye somewhat. So just because you mess it up, don't give up on it. But now, so we're only looking at this much of it, 1/2 of the face. And we got to clean up that broken piece of eyelid out of there. It don't matter. This don't matter. Why are you torturing them, Rob? Why are you torturing them? It don't matter. This ain't gonna be nothing. Just a bunch of nothing. But there you go. There's a rough idea on some knife cuts. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Share, subscribe, and like. Be awesome. Carve something awesome. And we will catch you on the next one. All right? All right.